Hello, happy Monday everyone, and welcome to today's live. I hope you're all doing well as we start this week together. And on this special live to celebrate the Chinese New Year, which is tomorrow, 17th of February, as we welcome the New Year of the Fire Horse. So thank you for joining us on the eve, New Year's Eve. So some of you may have heard me already sort of talk on what the energy of the fire horse and what it brings. But it's going to be a powerful year of movement. It's fast-paced energy. It's about courage and it's about truth, and it's a time to trust your instincts, to reclaim your independence and move towards what genuinely lights you up. So I've got all my good luck Chinese New Year traditionally that you would receive gifts of blessings, of good fortune, and these good fortune coins. And I've got my little horse, Chinese New Year horse. So if you also want to, whilst you're waiting for your reading, you can check out what your sign is, your Chinese zodiac sign, if you don't already know what it is. So there's an element and there's an animal, and there's a link just in the chat, if you can see it, where it says find your Chinese zodiac sign. So whilst you're waiting for your reading, just click on that and then post in the chat and share what your Chinese zodiac sign is. So I'm a water dog. I'm also going to be using a special deck. So we've got, it's called the China Tarot, sorry. So I hope you guys enjoy that. And we'll be using that for the first time today. As usual, if you would like a read to be considered for a reading, just click the link in the pinned comment, complete the form. Please include as much detail, context as usual, but let's get into it. Let's take a breath, let's center ourselves and be open to the messages that Spirit has for us today. Well, here we go. So thank you, country. Sruthi is a rat, Namir is a snake. Nice. I heard, Sruthi, that it's going to be a busy year for the rat. Check out what element you are if you don't know already through that link. But let's get into it without further ado. So questions just as normal, but sort of framed with the energy of the fire horse and the year ahead, and all what that means. Yeah. Oh, earth snake, says country. Nice. And we've just had the year of the snake. So your snake, 2025 was your year. Sruthi says I am busy. So you're going to get busier, Sruthi. Tia says wood ox. Nice, Tia. Very grounded energy for you, Tia. Stable. Oh, monkey, says Kamal. I'm born in the hour of the monkey as well. You can actually, some of you may know, you can actually, everyone has the hour you were born has an energy as well. It's a little bit like how in astrology you've got lots of planets, haven't you? But your sun and your moon. Okay, so Sruthi asks, hi Sia, this is a question that has been bothering me for a while. I don't feel attracted to men from my own culture backgrounds. I always have a very strong attraction towards foreign guys, and I'm someone who has never travelled abroad. What does my attraction to foreign cultures mean for my future love life? Interesting. Let's have a look. Queen of Pentacles. I feel like this maybe has come up for you in the past as well. I feel like that you will meet a potential suitor or a suitor, your partner, through work, because Pentacles is about work, about money. This is you, this is your energy, and kind of as you progress through your career. Few things with that. I'll pull another card just to dig deeper, but maybe that your work could maybe open up avenues of travel for you. You could cross paths with someone maybe in the area of your work. I don't know if it could potentially be something international, and that you would cross paths that way. Work opens up these worlds to us. So if that's something that you'd like to pursue, or even that maybe someone would surprise you who part of your own culture, you know, that in a kind of work format, maybe getting to know each other in that way first, rather than it kind of automatically being romantic from the get-go, them seeing you in this kind of more powerful position. Queen of Pentacles, you know, as you progress through your career, and that kind of they first see you in that light, it can somewhat change the dynamic of maybe a traditional role of male and female. That's just, I'm just, you know, streaming consciousness here from Spirit. So I feel like that's what the answer to that, the Spirit has mainly kind of said that this is the avenue that you would meet someone. Samreen says, to be honest, this is not only you. I have met many women who are attracted to foreign men thinking they are more family orientated. Okay. I believe grass is always greener on the other side. Only Western women can tell the truth. Well, I think we have issues here, from speaking from my own personal experience of being in the UK, is that we have a bit of an issue with, I don't know how it relates to where you are, where women are expected to kind of do everything now. So the man is less of a provider and wanting to go 50-50, but then also lots of issues that they haven't been able to step up as a father and in the parenting role. So not only does the woman now have, say, a full-time career, but also struggling with juggling that with childcare, housework, you know, all those kind of labor traditional roles. They're having to do that, but on top of that, also expected to work full time because of the cost of living as well. It's expensive here, and probably is where you are there, but I can only speak from here. And that many children are unfortunately ending up in childcare, so they don't have much family time. You know, they're either in full-time childcare and then school, after school classes, all etc., all of that, makes for a very stressful lifestyle, because there's too much to do and there isn't enough time. So that's just my experience of the issues that we experience here. But back to the tarot. The Sun. I think this is really just a message of hope. This is the happiest card in the deck, about you finding joy and happiness. And maybe as well not to overthink or limit yourself, in the sense of you could be surprised in meeting someone in your own culture who still you have a connection with and is maybe more open-minded and meets your needs, or that fate will also intervene and bring someone through who is foreign. But I feel like it is kind of, it's not something that you necessarily have to pursue. This person will find you through something connected to work, career, and this is kind of like the promise that it will come through and on its way, and it's not your job or your responsibility really to kind of figure that out and decide, you know, it has to be someone foreign, or it's not going to be someone that, you know, it's like, what's more important is just that this person will come through, and it's told us how. So I hope that resonated. Namira says, in the Netherlands, but women work also a lot as in England. Yeah. It's like having it all, but it's kind of a bit of a trick, because we end up just doing it all. Hey Neon Bright, welcome to the circle. I've got your question. Philia, are you here? I'm not sure if she is. It is country, isn't it? Yeah. I feel like there isn't, well, I don't know where would be the most balanced, you know? I feel like working full time is just takes up your whole life. Maybe Philia isn't here. I don't think I've seen Philia, so I'll move on to Tia Bia. Hey Sophia, I've got your question. That's true, Harry. One to serve, one to sit there. I know TB is here, so I'll post her question. Okay, let's get into it, Tia. Tia says, Pisces has still been in no contact. I've given up after reaching out several times. That's disappointing. It's clear he doesn't want to be with me. I don't believe I did anything to him, no. Just curious as to why he's behaving this way and what his feelings are about me as closure. Sorry to hear that, Tia. Let's have a look what's going on with him. This card fell out. 5 of Pentacles. Loss, disappointment, feeling like this is their energy, so I'm going to keep going to find out. Feeling they're in a lack state of mind, feeling like they haven't got enough. When that really is not the case in many situations, when this 5 of Pentacles comes through, it's kind of seeing the worst in a situation. I'm kind of feeling like feeling sorry for themselves. Tell me more, Spirit. King of Swords. So they're in a kind of emotionally cold place with this King of Swords. King of Swords is very, you know, if you think of a sword, that is, if he's where he's at now, in the sense that he's gone cold on you, he's gone quiet on you. I mean, he's kind of ghosted you, which would be like a terrible way for things to end at this point if he hasn't even told you what's going on with him. You know, why is it suddenly got so heavy and so cold and he's shut down? But also swords is about communication, so I feel like that you will hear more, there will be more to, he has got more to say. But in a way, the kind of damage has been done at this point. He would have to, you know, if he wants to reignite this, I think he would have to come up with something good to be able to rebuild this connection. Just to kind of go cold on someone like this after, you know, he owes you more, yeah? And then a Knight of Swords. So again, more communication coming through. But it might not be, it can be when the communication does come through, it can be quite tough. Like it can be that because they're in a cold state of mind, they're emotionally not in a, they've almost feels like they've kind of cut off their emotions, that they've shut down, they've cut off from you. And like you say, if there's nothing that's exactly what's happened between you, nothing's been said, nothing's changed, then it's something that's, you know, going on for them. But look at this, King of Swords and Knight of Swords, doubling down on that kind of harsher, colder energy. One more about what's brought them here. Does he even want to reignite at this point? Not in the state of mind that he's in now. He's gone to a cold, harsh place inside himself. So if communication does come through, it might not be delivered in the best way possible. What's this lack about? What's this Five of Pentacles? Ace of Pentacles. You see, this is Pentacles is about the 3D. It's about the physical world. It's about money. It's about work. It's about practical issues. And that's where this lack is coming from, and feeling sorry for himself, like he's not where he wants to be in his life. Again, we kind of have Ace of Pentacles, like one coin, rather than feeling fulfilled. It's like feeling stuck at the beginning and not being able to get ahead. So nothing's happened here that you're aware of. That, do you know what's going on with their life outside of this connection if nothing's directly happened between you two? All I would say is this kind of feeling of lack, feeling like they haven't got enough, that can be misguided, but that's nonetheless, that's how they feel. They've fallen into that, fallen into shadow in many ways. And then what the outcome of that is, they've kind of gone into their King of Swords energy, Knight of Swords energy, which, like I say, is kind of cold, more cut off from their emotions. And communication at the moment, if it was to come through, would be tricky, would be harsh. Okay, so money issues, which is what this, Pentacles, money, 3D, work, money. So feeling sorry for themselves as well, feeling like this is not where I want to be in my life. So it's probably made them emotionally withdraw. Like I say, it's put them in a cold, harsh place. So I can imagine, you know, you're not going to communicate with them anymore. They have to come forward to you. And then only you can decide, you know, is that after what's happened? Because this is not nice to leave you hanging like this, to leave you after everything you've been through, to not tell you what's going on for them. You know, that is a red flag to me. But at the same time, I don't think this is the last you'll hear from them. But, you know, they're being selfish here, Tia, you know, feeling sorry for themselves. It's put them in a cold state of mind, and they've shut down when it comes to speaking with you. They've shut down emotionally, full stop. Okay. Keep us posted. Samreen, my dear, this is for you. Just give me a shout out. You're here. I know that you were here. Thanks, Samreen. So Samreen says, I am planning to study abroad, hopefully by June, which is very exciting. I will be in another country. How this move will be for me in terms of finances, health and relationships. Let's have a look. Three of Wands. You will be closer to your dreams and to your ambitions. This is Wands energy. So this is about expansion, Samreen, taking flight, really. I always see the Three of Wands. It's like looking out onto the horizon and having the chance to dream big. Specifically with the Three of Wands, I think, because if we think of the traditional deck, it's a woman who is standing, or a man, I think, but a person, depending on the deck, standing on the shoreline, and they're able to see that their ships are coming into shore. And it's what they've dreamed of, it's what they've hoped of. And it's finally like it coming into view, and I feel like this move will bring you closer to those ambitions, to those ships that you have been manifesting maybe for some time, waiting for some time, but it will bring you closer. It's very fire horse energy as well, like it's just the kind of year for movement, for change. Wands is fire energy, so it's about taking risks and it's about being courageous. There was a talk in my intro about how the fire horse year is about being courageous and about being more selfish, doing what's right for you, making big shifts. So I feel like this is the right time to do it as well. I'm gonna pull one more. Thank you, Namira. And I feel like it. What have we got here? We've got Six of Swords. Moving away again, transitioning from a tumultuous time. So maybe, you know, you've had stops and starts, ups and downs. I know that you've had kind of a bit of a time health-wise and with your partner. It's been kind of a rocky road, yeah? It's been stormy. And the Six of Swords is moving into a more peaceful place. And I think that you'll have more inner peace, even though externally there might be a lot of movement, change. Obviously, moving to another country is like going to be stressful, yeah? It's going to be kind of big ups and downs, but I feel like what it will bring is more like on a deeper level. It'll be actually more peaceful than staying where you are, because you'll know that it's bringing you closer to what you really want and your ambitions. So no negative cards here, no negative energy. Very encouraging, very enthusiastic. Essentially the message is bringing you closer to your ambitions. I think is the main takeaway from that. Country, my love, are you here? Samreen says, my boyfriend and I celebrated Valentine's Day on Friday instead of Saturday. After our coffee date, he pretended his car had broken down and asked me to grab the toolkit. Ah, only for me to find it filled with gifts. How nice. That's a good one. I like that. That's romantic, Samreen, yeah? Well, that'll be another bridge to cross if you're relocating. Where does that leave this connection? But that's another question for another day, yeah? Hey, Country, thank you. So Country asks, where should I focus my energy for business growth right now? Let's have a look. Samreen says, yes, he is good at giving surprises. That's endearing. That would work on me. Okay, Country, my love. Let's have a look. So business growth. Where should you focus your energy? Knight of Swords. What first comes through, Country? It's about being very decisive, this energy. Knight of Swords moves fast, yeah. They are really less emotional, okay? Swords energy, there's quite a lot of Swords energy that's come through today, actually. So it's fast moving, it's quick-witted, it's intelligent, you know, it's using your head, it's being savvy, and it's less emotionally driven, really. And it's about really being analytical and assessing, almost like looking at data, looking at statistics, looking at facts from how your business is doing. Or say if you've got a few business ideas, which is, you know, shown the most promise so far, or going with where you've had the most response. A lot of it with business, it's about kind of growing and expanding and doing what's right by looking backwards, like what worked, what didn't, you know, do more obviously of what worked, and looking at the statistics, or whatever data that you have to go off, you know, whatever information, if it's just feedback, other people, what are people responding to. But being quite decisive about this, not getting too much into the weeds of a situation, not overthinking. We do with a Knight, they do move quick. So I don't know if sometimes maybe you feel indecisive. What holds you back? What maybe there's some overthinking that goes on, country, that holds you back. Four of Chalices. This can be a card of, this is the kind of the other side, the more emotional side, maybe about the Four of Chalices or Four of Cups. Somewhere, I don't know, it can be about a feeling of rejection, getting hooked up on maybe the disappointments and the setbacks and the losses. Country says, I am super indecisive, yeah, and I will overthink everything. And maybe overthinking and getting bogged down in the stuff that hasn't worked. You know, and because it is hard when, if you put a lot of effort, a lot of energy into a certain project or into a certain thing that you're really kind of fired up about, and then it just doesn't connect, it just doesn't resonate, and it is hard to experience that and to get, but it's about bouncing back from that, and that the fourth cup offers, there is another way, this is possible. We just have to be persistent. So that's just a kind of caveat. I feel like that maybe you have a sensitive soul and that ultimately you are emotionally driven. And it's not about cutting off from that, because our intuition and our nature is where we will thrive, and where, you know, that's the whole point of kind of doing your own business in some ways, is to make it your own, or we might as well just go and work for someone else, yeah. But then there is something about not feeling, getting taken in that rejection or the losses too deeply and letting it put us off. And we keep moving forward. We keep things moving, yeah. It's better to make a decision, even if it's not the right one in some case, just to not get stuck. Like, we can fail forward. Assess the information, go, right, the information, the statistics, the feedback is telling me this, so I'm going to go with that. That kind of energy. Okay, I'll leave that there, country. Be gentle with yourself, says Harry. Yes, always. Kamal, my dear, are you here? You're welcome, country. If you can embody that energy, country, expect to see in this fire horse year, you know, this is the year to see growth. So if that's where you put your energy, the energy of this year will be behind you, yeah, will be with you. Hey Kamal, thanks for letting me know you're here. So Kamal says, any future guidance for me, as my past 6 years were the worst. I'm sorry, Kamal, to hear that. I literally cried tears of blood. I had very little hope in terms of future life aspects such as career, and zero hope for love. Kamal, I'm sorry to hear that you're in such a low place, yeah? I'm sending you love, sending you blessings. Don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. Let's see what Spirit says. You need future guidance, okay? Oh, similar to country energies, more of this swords energy. We have to keep moving forward, Kamal, even when we don't feel like it, even when we feel desperate, when we feel hopeless. Knight of Swords is about having the right information as well, just like we're talking in countries sort of situation, about looking at the information that is available to us. What direction is it pushing us in? Do we need to gather more information, more clarity about the right direction for us to go in? Again, I feel like movement and change is important for you, Kamal. Like maybe if you have experiencing such unhappiness, say around your career, if it's possible to make changes, you know, look at different options, look at different things that could be available to you. The Knight of Swords as well, the Knights is like a youthful energy, and if we think of kind of like this depicted here by this young man who is ready to kind of go fight, really, yeah, got all this energy behind them. They've got their weapon, they know what they need to do. And I know you might be if you're feeling very low, you might feel like you don't know what to do at this point, so we need to gather more information and try to move towards this point. But again, overthinking won't be helpful in this situation. Sometimes just change and movement in any direction can shake things up and move us forward. But it's about embodying being a warrior, really. This, like I said, this Knight of Swords is ready to fight. Five of Wands, so we've got, or Five of Staves it is. Five of Wands, this is about conflict, inner conflict. So this can be either actually with people around you that aren't good for you. Can also be about inner conflict, which I feel like is going on for you, Kamal, about that we're not sure what direction to go in, and we've got a lot of, we should do this, and then you second guess yourself, and then you think you should do that, and then there's a lot of flip-flopping around internally, like we're not centered, we're not grounded. Meditation can be a great way to soothe our soul and to get some clarity, to connect to God, to spirit, or if you use prayer, I would always encourage you to do that as well if we're feeling lost, if we're feeling hopeless, to get ourselves more whole inside and to find that we've always got some, however small, there's always some peace inside of us. Your higher self, really connecting to your higher self. So I think the confusion, Kamal, because this is kind of the opposite of confused, and I feel like this is what will help you. If you can get some clarity and understanding about where you need to go. I feel like you do need change in your life. Try to get centered, try to get grounded through prayer, through meditation. But also maybe just making some changes around you and not overthinking it too much will also help you understand actually what you do want and what you don't want. If there's negative people in your life, you can cut them out with this sword. You have this sword, this weapon. And maybe certain people, certain situations that drain you, it's time to release them and to cut them off. Use this sword to cut them off. Okay. Changes like what? Relationships, job, living situation. 1,000,001 areas of where you can find change. Friendships, relationships, job, living. Maybe we need to switch up our lives, really. If it's not working for us, if we're deeply unhappy with our lives as they are now, what can we change? Sonali, my love, are you here? You're welcome, Kamal. Thank you for moderating, Namira. I appreciate it. I don't think they are. Harry, my love. Thank you, Namira. Oh, Sonali's here. Okay. Right, I'll read for Sonali. So Sonali says, current feelings of Sorav. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Ex-situationship, no contact. Let's do a check-in. Thank you, Namira. And then Harry, I read for you after Sonali. More swords, Jesus. Ace of Swords. So this is their energy. A new beginning. So it can be new communication. I don't know when you had last communication from them. But this sword is able to cut through to the truth. So it can be this fresh start. I always think of, particularly of the Ace of Swords, has a very, releasing the old, starting the new, and it has a very clear point of view. So maybe after some confusing energies, not knowing how they feel about you, not knowing how they feel about this connection, whatever's gone on, the messiness, that brought you into no contact. I feel like this is new clarity and new information that can then manifest in new communication coming through to you. So a new conversation can start here. If you're able to, obviously I don't know what went on, if it's something that you're able to, if you can leave behind the past is the next question. I feel like they can. They're clear. More swords. 5 swords though. Some maybe difficult conversations though to have, to really, it's a little bit maybe more complicated than what they see or feel, because the 5 of Swords is a card of kind of conflict, can be about difficult discussions, difficult conversations. even arguments, yeah. So there's stuff that still needs to be resolved with this Five of Swords. But with a 5, it always says with a 5 that it will pass. So it's really dependent on where you're at with it, Sonali, if it's something that you feel like you can, move on from. But this feels like the first line of communication that will obviously initiate and reopen the lines of communication. But then there will be some stuff that needs to be worked out that's a bit more complicated, and a few difficult situations, just to know where we stand, to clear the air, and to really be able to leave the past in the past and give this connection a chance. Okay, I'll leave it there. Hope that resonated. Harry, this is for you. So Harry says, I'll just wait for Harry to give me a notification that they're there. Thanks, Harry. Harry says, hello. So though I like A lot, the girl I'm always asking about, I had a very similar connection with a girl named BK exactly a year ago. It was an instant and ended abruptly because of relocation. Okay. I really could see myself with her as well. I used to see her every day like A, except I felt good every day. I plan on surprising her today. How will BK feel? Okay. So I think I'll, just with the way that I read tarot, I'm going to see how she feels in general about this connection, about you. Oh, wow. Well, I feel like the universe has actually overridden me and said that, she'll be happy. She'll be happy to hear from you. She'll be happy for the surprise, however that manifests. Sun is the major arcana and the happiest card in the deck. So she still feels that too, and it sounds like it was circumstances, more than difficulties between you at all, which can be really frustrating, yeah, with a connection. If it's geographical. So very clear message there, Harry. You love being around her. And it looks like from this card that she loves being around you too, reciprocated. Wow, another major arcana. This is the card of judgment, but it's such a beautiful judgment card. There doesn't look to be much judgment in there, does there really? Judgment, though, is about karma. It can even be about past lives. That makes me think about this. Maybe it's a past life connection, which is why it feels so easy and natural and instant connection. Like you say, I often think when we cross paths with people in our lives where you kind of feel like you already know them when you see someone for the first time, but it's almost like you recognize them if people have experienced that before. I know that I have, and I feel like it is if you believe in that, which I do, that would be a past life connection. We are close in location again. It could be good now. Okay, well, that's hopeful. Look at the powerful energies. 2 major arcanas, Harry. So, yeah, something worth pursuing. Six of Swords, so after difficulties, moving into an easier period, like maybe it was just the tumultuousness of whatever separated you and some rocky emotions, or maybe the time apart that you've had. You've had your own journey and, you know, own experiences, and things have been, the waters have been choppy. But this talks about moving into a more peaceful era, yeah? Things get calmer, things get clearer, things get more centered. So move closer, as always, to what brings you joy, Harry, what brings you love, what brings you peace and happiness. Move in the direction to that. So I feel like with such a strong bond that you have mentioned, and with these two all these cards, really very encouraging, particularly with this Sun card. So go for it. Keep us posted. Fate has brought you back together now that you're close, yeah? Okay. I hope that resonated. So, moving on, we have Sophia. Let me know if you're here, my love. You're welcome, Harry. Awesome. Thanks, Sophia. So Sophia asks, what is coming in love for me? I'm separated but have a romantic interest with whom we are currently no contact as he's travelling. Okay. Thank you, Namira. What is coming in love, Sophia? There is some fears here. This is about 9 of Swords, anxieties, worries, and it comes with the promise that these fears are not going to come true. There's always some guidance in this if it's possible to get its card really more swords, you know, like overthinking, kind of worrying, really going to worst case scenario. And I feel like this isn't kind of helping your situation, manifesting love into your life, manifesting this connection, you know, with your love interest as well. This kind of energy, you know, is very stressful for you and is not conducive to kind of bringing the right kind of energy in, yeah, and aligning with your love interest, whoever that might be, this person that you're thinking of or someone better, whoever that person is. So first, I feel like Spirit is saying, let me know if this resonates, to try and get on top of our thinking, our outlook, overthinking, if we're worrying or if we're thinking negatively. Let me know if this resonates for you, because if it doesn't, then it could be that this is your person. But Let's decipher who that is. Oh, well, you have a King of Swords coming through to you, more swords. This King of Swords, so let me know if you recognize this energy. Sophia says, I'm trying, I'm doing a lot of healing. It takes time. It sure does. It sure does. Of course, I'm not rushing you. Just this is spirit gently nudging you and encouraging you in the right direction, really. But here we have an actual energetic signature of who is coming through in love. So King of Swords can be an air sign. But there's someone who is generally, well, they're intelligent, but they're also tend to move through the space using their intellect and being led by strategy, as opposed to someone who maybe is very emotional, or they're really quite pragmatic. But they are someone that you can always guarantee will tell you the truth. There is an honesty about them here, and because they're a king as well, which is nice to see that energy show up, it's someone who knows themselves. Yeah, they've had enough life experience. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're older than you, but they are mature in their soul, in their spirit. They've got enough life experience to know who they are and know what they want. If you can see the very determined energy in this King of Swords. They can be quick-witted in how they communicate. They can be direct, so direct that it can sort of take you aback at times. Don't let this put you off. It's kind of better to hear that kind of brutal honesty than someone who is kind of blowing smoke, yeah? So it sounds like him, you say. So this means that they will be coming back. What's next in love is their energy. Like I said, was going to say, if you didn't recognize it, then I would say that this is someone new. But if it sounds like them, quite a tough cookie, quite a tough character, but someone who would keep you on your toes, someone who, like I say, they will tell it how it is. Someone really good to have on your side, a powerhouse of sorts, really. Both swords energy. So keep us posted, Sophia, but that tells me that, your person is coming back around, and this story's doesn't end here, yeah? So your only job until that happens is to just try to, which is easier said than done, manage those fears and feelings. Okay, Namira, my love, I know that you're here, so I'll just post your question. Just grab it. You're welcome, Sophia. Okay. So Namira says, hi, Sia. I don't know what happened. It's more quiet next door. Oh, how interesting. Maybe it's helped because the local authority spoke with Corinne last week, and she will have mediation at this Friday with other neighbour. Okay. Also, someone from local authority is going to find out if Corinne needs help with her children. So it's all I could do for complaint. Yeah, it's now waiting time. But the energy around this is more quiet. That's good. Am I right with my feelings about it? Thank you. Okay, let's do an energy check-in. Hi Philia, I'm sorry if you catch us on Friday. So I did call you, but sorry, yeah, if I call you, you're not here, then I do just need to move on. So do catch us on Monday. Whoa. Friday, sorry. It is Monday today. Okay, let's have a look at the energy around this in the mirror. What is going on with all? I feel like all this deck is swords. It's not. So this Knight of Swords, let's say this is information coming through. So I feel like you could maybe get some more news about this situation, a bit more information about what's happened. Maybe after your neighbour has mediation. I don't know if you're still talking with that other neighbour, but however it might come through, I feel like you'll get more clarity. You saw her outside not looking happy. So it can be also as well. So not only that, I feel like that in time you will get more news, more information coming through, which will give you a clearer picture. But also that Swords is about news and information, I think, that has reached her, that has landed, yeah? Like you say, maybe the fact that it came from the authorities, the fact that it felt more serious, that it actually resonated, you know, it kind of hit her. And Swords energy is tough, yeah? So, and then we've got more swords here. We've got the Two of Swords, which I think is her energy again. It's about needing to make a decision. You did everything you could, absolutely. And I feel like that it's landed, Namira, yeah? It's made an impact is the word that I'm looking for. And I feel like now this is where she is. She's feeling at the minute undecided, maybe she's worried about, you know, what am I going to do? Maybe contemplating needing to move, or knowing also the authorities called you to tell you, okay, so it might unfold even more and you might get even more information coming through. But she's been faced with a decision now. Either stay, things need to change. Maybe with regards to intervention with the children, if that's also, you know, something that she might have to do or something that she's been faced with. Or it's like, does she move on and leave now? You know, I feel like that's what she's wrestling with her energy now, which is maybe why her energy feels more subdued. That she, yeah, we'd say that she's rattled enough to finally take it seriously. So this is good, yeah, this is good that it's like she finally kind of gets it. Yeah, and maybe she does need help. It sounded like she was extremely overwhelmed with how the situation was. Oof. And then this is the inevitable change card, Namira, death. So the change will happen. So the transformation, the card of death spells an ending. So either she gets it, this is the beginning of the end in a way of the situation as it stands. She either finally gets it and understands that if she's going to stay, this is, you know, it can't go on, or it's going to usher in that change that she will leave. It's quite a scary looking death card, isn't it? But it is, I always like to think of death card. It really is just an ending, a rebirth. But it's a heavy one, it's a painful one. Most growth, change, transformation is painful, It doesn't always have to be. Change can happen through joy and happiness as well. But there also is that shadow energy. Yeah, she's finally aware, Namira, exactly. It's like that knife, this sword, of this information has finally connected. So that's your hard work paying off, You went through the right channels. You did everything that you had to, as did your neighbour. And it's finally connected and made impact. So I'm really glad that that's hit home. And now it's kind of like over to her, like, okay, so this is the information, this is the situation, you get it now, what are you going to do? Yeah, and that death card is painful. But really positive ultimately in this situation, because change had to happen, Amira, didn't it? Some change had to happen. Okay. So I hope that resonated, Namira. Positive, felt positive, difficult, heavy energies, but what we've been waiting to see. So Jazz, my love, if you are here, please let me know. So we have Jazz, and then I will read for Neon, who is here after Jazz. Eric's a horse, said Philia. Awesome. So this will be his year, and you're a rooster. Nice. That sounds like a feisty combination to me. A horse and a rooster. Let me know if you're still here, guys, if you've made it to the end. Jazz, Neon, give me a shout out. Hey, Neon. I'll read for Neon. Who has... So Neon asks, hi, will Yuichi, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, will Yuichi and I be in a relationship in a long term? My name is Grace. So I don't do yes, no questions, Neon. But I can certainly have a look at this connection and the energy surrounding it, okay? With regard to it being long term, depending on what comes through, can help guide us with that. So let's have a look at the energy of this connection. So I'm assuming you're in a connection right now, but you're together, partners, yeah? And you're wanting to know if it will last. Just clarify that. I feel like I want that one. Would you believe it? More swords. I can't take this. So many swords. So they're a king. They've come through as a king. You're not together yet. Okay. So you're at the getting to know you stage. Okay, thanks for letting me know, Neon. Much like I just spoke about the King of Swords before, King of Swords is someone who really is very straight to the point, who doesn't pull any punches with how they communicate, okay? They are a king, which is nice to see because it means that they're mature. It means that they are available really for the long term, for commitment, because they show up and they know what they want. So you're obviously in the getting to know you stage, but they're not someone who would promise the world and then, give false promises. It's like they know what they want and they know how to get it kind of energy. They have enough lived life experience. They are more, head led rather than heart. There may be an air sign, or this can be prominent in their chart. But this is how they operate and move through the world, is that, like I say, they use their head more than their heart or even their instincts in a way. They'll kind of assess the situation and be really quite analytical. So that tells me something about their nature. Let me know if that resonates with how they are appearing to you now. Are they coming forward with this kind of energy? I mean, they look very intense and very determined about this situation, about life, about you. Yeah. And here we are at the beginning. Ace of Pentacles. Now Pentacles is nice energy again. It's earth energy, so this means it is grounded, it is real, and it is genuine. But I think they're very realistic, they're not really kind of dreamers, or they won't kid themselves. They see things exactly how they are. They like what they see. They like how things are going. The Ace of Pentacles is about, it does have a lot of potential, this connection, and it has the potential to go the distance. If you think of the journey from the Ace through till the Ten of Pentacles is where you end up. The Ten of Pentacles is marriage, the family. This is a traditional, but whatever your kind of ideal future scenario looks like, that's what that 10 is. And here we are at the Ace, but it's a very promising start, and it has got the potential for the commitment that you're looking for and to last the distance. It's all very realistic. It's all very, I like what I see. This is good so far. You feel we're drawn towards each other. So any final messages for you? Because both of this feels good. It tells me they're mature enough to offer you something real, Neon. They'll be very straight to the point. This is someone who is honest, brutally honest, but that's someone that you can rely on and believe in. Someone, again, like I said, who's great to have on your side, on your team. And then we have Ace of Pentacles, which is very much, again, grounded in reality. It's real potential. This is tangible. It's not airy-fairy. It's not up head in the clouds. It's all very promising. Final message for you, Neon, within this connection. Oh, lovely. Temperance. So all that's required from you is there is some patience. So we just need to let this unfold naturally. Temperance is a very calm energy. It's a very balanced energy. It's about keeping the scales balanced. And it's about being patient and tapped in, tuned in to that calm and almost spiritual place, really, with temperance within you. Excuse me, to not try to force this situation to move forward quicker than it needs to not try to overthink it, but instead allow it to be exactly what it is in the moment, and kind of trust yourself and trust this connection to unfold in its own time. Sometimes in a new connection it can be very exciting, but it also can be quite nerve-wracking, which is understandable. What is this? What's it going to be? And it's really about trying to stay present in the moment, and that will look how kind of open and peaceful and balanced this image is. And it's trying to really stay in that energy to enjoy the journey, and not try to jump or push too much to the future, if that makes sense. All very encouraging though, all very positive. So I hope that resonated for you, Neon. Okay. I'm going to end the live there, guys, but thank you all so much for joining us today for this Chinese New Year special, which is actually tomorrow. Obviously, the 17th is when the Year of the Fire Horse truly kicks off. But thank you for bringing all your questions today. I hope your readings resonated. Thank you for choosing me as your reading. If you didn't get read for today, or if you're watching this on replay, do join us on Friday. I'll be live again then, and I'll open the list and confirm the time on the community tab on Thursday, so watch out for that then. Thank you, Namira, so much for moderating. It's really appreciated. Very grateful for that. It really helps. But love and light to all, and Happy New Year. Take care, guys, and I'll see you soon. Much love. You're welcome, Philia. See you Friday.